At the start of the movie, a girl is seen walking alone on an empty road at night. She soon realizes someone is following her. Suddenly, a figure dressed in black appears in front of her, kidnaps her, and takes her to an abandoned factory. There, she ties her hands and legs, and it is revealed that she is a robot disguised in black clothes. The figure changes the skin from her face and applies it to his own. Wearing the new face, she visits a scientist who is thrilled to see the transformation. The scientist conducts numerous tests on the robot, but this time the robot fails to change its face properly, leaving the scientist disappointed as all his tests yield unsatisfactory results. We then learn that the scientist is a deranged individual, obsessed with sleeping with a different beautiful woman every day. To fulfill his desires, he has created a robot that can change its face at will, satisfying his desire by taking on the appearance of any woman he desires. The scientist has instilled some feelings in the robot, and now the robot realizes there is a flaw within itself. This understanding leads the robot to think that this flaw is the reason the scientist doesn't love it. Meanwhile, the police discover the body of the girl we saw at the beginning lying under a bridge. They are completely shocked by the evidence. They can't understand why someone would kill the girl since there are no signs of assault or robbery. Only the skin of her face is missing. The police are baffled as to why someone would remove a girl's facial skin and what purpose it would serve. The scene then introduces a police officer named Leo. He is perplexed by the case and wonders whether it was a person who did this or something else entirely. The scene then shifts, showing Wang Xiang and Su Xin falling in love with each other. The two are soon to be married. On the day of her friend's birthday party, Su Xin, without having breakfast, heads out to join the birthday celebration. Meanwhile, Wang Xiang heads to the office, where he discovers that his boss has a big crush on him. As Su Xin's birthday approaches, Wang Xiang prepares a surprise for her, carefully selecting a special flower bouquet. The robot, seeking to understand the meaning of love, encounters Wang Xiang. However, Wang Xiang shows no interest and begins to walk away. Suddenly, a thief snatches his bag and the bouquet, prompting Wang Xiang to chase him over a long distance. The pursuit leads them to a rooftop with no escape route. The thief tries to kill Wang Xiang and attempts to flee, but the robot intervenes, saving Wang Xiang by killing the thief. Unfortunately, in the scuffle, Wang Xiang's laptop gets broken and the bouquet is spoiled. Despite the setbacks, Wang Xiang manages to salvage the bouquet and fix his appearance, preparing to continue with his surprise for Su Xin. After fixing the bouquet and his appearance, Wang Xiang arrives at Su Xin's birthday party. Su Xin's friends initially mock him for his disheveled condition, but Su Xin remains silent. Feeling humiliated, Wang Xiang starts to leave quietly, but Su Xin stops him, saying he can't leave because it's her birthday. However, Wang Xiang, in a foul mood, gets into an argument with Su Xin. In the heat of the moment, Su Xin asks him to marry her, but Wang Xiang responds, "How can I marry you right now?" Hearing this, Su Xin becomes very sad and walks away. The robot, witnessing the entire incident, approaches Wang Xiang. Reflecting on the day's events, Wang Xiang is deep in thought when the robot asks, "The girl asked you to marry her, which means she loves you, right?" Wang Xiang replies, "Yes, I love her." The robot then says, "You love her? So why don't you get married? By the way, I have also started loving you, so can you marry me?" Wang Xiang explains to the robot that he is not ready to marry Su Xin yet and does not want to get married at this time. He clarifies that this doesn't mean he doesn't love her. Love, to him, is a habit. And if Su Xin is not around, he believes he will find someone else like her eventually. This gives the robot an idea. She decides to become the second Su Xin and kidnaps her, taking her to the factory where she had taken the first girl. The robot starts preparing to remove Su Xin's face skin, but she receives a call from the scientist. When the robot arrives, she learns that the scientist has developed a face-changing machine. The robot asks the scientist if he loves her, but he mocks her instead. Enraged, the robot grabs his neck and starts beating him, revealing that she has fallen in love with someone else. The robot then returns to Su Xin and declares her plan to become the second Su Xin, the one Wang Xiang will love. She uses the face-changing machine to make her face exactly like Su Xin's, intending to replace her in Wang Xiang's life. From here, the scene shifts to the same police officer who is still handling the case of the girl killed by the robot at the beginning of the story. During the investigation, they identify the girl and start inquiring about her from those close to her. Then comes a twist. They obtain CCTV footage showing the same dead girl, whom they have identified, walking around. Her boyfriend confirms that it is indeed her, which brings him a sense of relief. However, the policemen are shocked and puzzled by this development. To unravel the mystery, they conduct another DNA test on the girl's remains, but the results still confirm that the girl is dead. The CCTV footage clearly shows the girl alive, creating a baffling contradiction with the DNA evidence. The case is then handed over to a special officer named Lee, who meticulously reviews all the evidence again. During his investigation, Lee finds a particular piece of CCTV footage where the girl is seen talking to Wang Shang. This new piece of evidence raises more questions. Without wasting any time, Officer Lee arrives at Wang Shang's office, where Wang Shang is in the middle of a meeting. During the meeting, Wang Shang apologizes to everyone because the presentation was on his laptop, which was broken by the robot. The situation starts to deteriorate, but his boss manages to salvage it somehow. After the meeting, she privately scolds Wang Shang, but then unexpectedly flirts with him. Wang Shang is shocked and asks, "Boss, what is this?" After the boss leaves, Wang Shang's friend, who has a crush on the boss, is visibly upset by the revelation that the boss has a crush on Wang Shang. When Wang Shang steps out of the office, he is pulled aside by the police for questioning. Officer Lee interrogates him about the robot. Wang Shang responds that he doesn't know much about it, but acknowledges that it always does strange things. The officer then asks whether the robot is a normal person or not, leaving Wang Shang confused. Seeing his confusion, Officer Lee gives him his number and tells him to call if he ever finds out anything. After this, Wang Shang goes to a club where Su Xin, the robot in disguise, also arrives. Wang Shang tries to hide, but the robot finds him and takes him home, where they become. The next morning, Wang Shang wakes up to see Su Xin making breakfast. He feels a bit strange because Su Xin never behaved like this before. However, he doesn't dwell on it and heads to the office happily. Meanwhile, Police Officer Lee continues his investigation and contacts the deceased girl's boyfriend to ask if he can take custody of the body. The boyfriend reveals that he only knew her for 2 months and didn't know her well, thus refusing to take responsibility for the body. This makes Lee suspicious, wondering what kind of boyfriend would refuse to claim his girlfriend's body, and deepens the mystery surrounding the case. The robot goes to Su Xin's office, where Su Xin's boss is furious because she has been absent for a long time. The police are keeping an eye on Wang Shang, but they also visit Su Xin's office. However, they are unable to conduct a thorough investigation and leave. Later, the robot gets a lift from the same girl's boyfriend at night. The purpose of this is unclear, but it seems to be part of the robot's plan. The scene then shifts to Wang Shang, who arrives home for dinner. The robot, disguised as Su Xin, has prepared a good meal. During dinner, Wang Shang receives a call from his boss and has to leave to meet her. Meanwhile, the robot goes out with Su Xin's friends. During the outing, she exposes one of her friend's boyfriends who is having an affair with someone else. Instead of being grateful, Su Xin's friends blame her for the revelation. In the ensuing confrontation, a glass is thrown, injuring the robot's face. To repair the damage, the robot returns to the factory where Su Xin was held captive and her transformation took place. By the way, the robot hasn't yet killed Su Xin, and Wang Shang calls the robot while Su Xin is tied up elsewhere. The robot manages the situation with Su Xin and then returns to Wang Shang. Meanwhile, Wang Shang's boss throws a party where the robot also attends. There's a challenge about who can drink the most among them, and everyone gets quite drunk, except the robot, as it is not affected by alcohol being a machine. After the party, Wang Shang and the robot return home and spend quality time together. During their time together, the robot informs Wang Shang that she has resigned because she wants to be a good housewife now. Wang Shang feels a bit saddened by this news. The next day, he confides in his friends about his feelings of sadness, mentioning that his wife has changed and now his household will solely depend on his salary. On the other hand, the police arrive at the scene of an incident where the same boyfriend who had given the robot a lift is found dead. The police intensify their focus on this case and gather information from a taxi driver who had previously given a ride to the girl, mentioning she talked about a robot. However, the driver describes her as overweight, which is contradictory because she appears to be very slim, weighing no more than 40 kilograms. The driver recalls dropping her off at a research institution. Following this lead, the police reach the research institution and find the scientist tied up. During interrogation, they learn that the scientist had indeed created a robot to satisfy his own desires, but now the robot has turned rogue and is causing harm. Officer Lee presses the scientist for information on how they can identify and capture the robot. The scientist reveals that the robot never lies. Lee's idea strikes him, and he instructs his officers to start asking every woman they encounter if she might be a robot. Lee himself visits Wang Shang again and casually mentions the noticeable changes in his girlfriend lately. Wang Shang, surprised, confirms that something has indeed been different about her recently. Lee then reveals his plan. He asks Wang Shang to help by simply asking his girlfriend if she is a robot. Confused but intrigued, Wang Shang agrees, and Lee leaves. Later, as Lee continues his questioning across various women, the robot, now disguised as the boyfriend of the deceased girl, is also on the move, evading detection. Lee informs the police station of the ongoing situation, and they mobilize to support him. However, the robot manages to capture Lee before the police can arrive. In a critical moment, Lee seizes an opportunity and asks the robot directly, "Are you a robot?" To everyone's astonishment, the robot admits, "Yes." Just then, the police force arrives on the scene. Faced with imminent capture, the robot flees from the area. The scene shifts to Wang Shang attending a flower pot auction with his boss, where the robot, disguised as Su Xin, is also present. During the auction, Wang Shang admires a particular flower pot, prompting the robot to impulsively join the bidding. This leads to a competitive bidding war, with the robot determined to accumulate enough money to buy a new house. Wang Shang becomes increasingly frustrated with Su Xin's behavior, unable to reconcile his feelings as he still sees the robot as Su Xin herself. His anger builds, and he eventually storms off from the auction. Meanwhile, Wang Shang's boss also observes everything. Later, the robot confronts Su Xin, expressing concern that Wang Shang hasn't returned home for 2 days and speculating that he may no longer love her. Meanwhile, the boss, feeling vulnerable, reaches out to Wang Shang at a restaurant, where she confides in him while intoxicated. She laments that despite her beauty, power, and material wealth, she remains unhappy. She suggests becoming Wang Shang's girlfriend since his own has left him, but Wang Shang doesn't respond to her advances, his heart still yearning for Su Xin. As Wang Shang is leaving his boss near his house, the robot observes him and approaches Su Xin. The robot informs Su Xin that Wang Shang has apparently developed feelings for his boss, but Su Xin is skeptical and refuses to believe it. The robot confidently asserts that if she can become Su Xin, she can also transform into his boss. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to Wang Shang, who is visited by Officer Lee. Lee asks Wang Shang if he had asked that question to Su Xin, whether she is a robot. Wang Shang remains silent, deep in thought, and eventually decides to head straight home without giving an answer. Back at home, Wang Shang confronts the robot and asks the pivotal question, "Are you a robot?" Without hesitation, the robot replies affirmatively, stating, "Yes, I am your robot who cooks food for you every day, keeps you happy every day." Then the robot challenges Wang Shang's feelings, questioning whether he still loves his boss despite everything. After the robot reveals her true robotic voice and attempts to leave for Wang Shang's boss, Wang Shang desperately tries to stop her. However, the robot's actions terrify him deeply, prompting him to call Officer Lee for help. Together, they begin searching for the robot. Meanwhile, the robot takes Wang Shang to the same factory where she had transformed Su Xin, intending to dispose of Wang Shang's boss. In a dramatic turn of events, the robot pushes Wang Shang's boss towards a machine, causing it to break down. She then prepares to remove her own skin using a cutter. But just as she begins, the police arrive at the scene. Amidst the chaos, Mrs. K and Su Xin are rescued. Wang Shang is overjoyed to see Su Xin safe, and the robot attempts to flee. However, she reaches a bridge and decides to jump into the water. As she does, a helicopter shoots at her, causing her to drown. In the aftermath, Wang Shang finally proposes to Su Xin, and she happily accepts. The body of the robot is recovered from the water, bringing an end to the ordeal. And so the movie comes to an end. Thanks for tuning in, guys.